In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best ways to armor your train in Dead Rails on Roblox, utilizing everything from the newspapers at the spawn, to random things like statues, to, of course, actual armor that'll allow for literally nothing to get through your defenses. If this video ends up helping you out, it'd be awesome if you could get subscribed. I'm trying to hit 300,000 by the end of the year, and of course, you'd be able to keep up to date with all of the latest and greatest updates and guides for Dead Rails. With all that said, let's get right into the video. So the first thing that you could do to armor your train, which I have talked about in multiple videos now because it is just such an easy way to go about it, is at the spawn, you can grab these 3 newspapers, you can take them to your train, and you can just weld them in kind of whatever pattern you want that you think will help keep stuff out. Usually I would do something along the lines of like this, and then nothing gets in, not even you. Or you could just create a little bit wider of a wedge here to be able to kind of squeeze your character through sideways, and then pretty much this will stop most things from getting into your train, especially early game. Because barbed wire is always guaranteed to spawn at the spawn, I'll go ahead and say it might be worthwhile to sacrifice a piece of coal for a single barbed wire, at the very least, so that you could just have this kind of little setup going here, stopping anything from getting between the wedge other than you. Now, because we are trying to armor up our train as fast as we can, I will definitely say that it's a good idea to actually go ahead and stop and loot pretty much every single place that you can, because every single little thing, even random bits of scrap, can be utilized as armor. And of course, you might find some other useful stuff along the way, like I just did. Now, unfortunately, it did become nighttime. I was able to get back to my train, but we can just see right here how useful just this single piece of barbed wire combined with just the newspapers is right off the bat. Are they gonna... Oh, there's a bunch of them on me. Whew. Can't get through my barbed wire though, can you, dude? No. Literally nothing's getting through, bro. It is, I can't get over how simple it is to do the most basic bits of armor for your train. Especially in the event of it being nighttime like this, if I were to be out of fuel right now, this would be pretty much the only way that I could actually survive, especially early game. You know, little things like this just make it so easy to be able to pass early game. So I said earlier in the video that you can even use things like statues. And pretty much what you can do with these is just kind of block off extra little bits of your train to act as armor. So for instance, I could try to use maybe these 2 different statues here to block off my driver's seat. So that way, whenever bandits kind of come by, it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to actually hit me. Why do they have cake on them, bro? And then, of course, we've got a bunch of other random stuff, which, yes, it is junk, but basically, you can just use these and randomly weld it to your train. Now, I know that seems really dumb on the surface, but the main reason that you would want to do this is because of 2 reasons, actually. For one, it's just extra stuff for the zombies to get snagged on or whatever else is climbing your train. And 2, because a lot of these little random bits of junk can be utilized as fuel, so you'll just have them at your disposal if needed. Ooh, now this is perfect here. So there's a couple of different things that we can actually do now that we are at our first town, and it all really just kind of depends on luck a little bit on what you get in your general store. But if you're really keen on armoring up your train, it might be worth staying for a couple of days, maybe getting a vampire or werewolf night, and being able to sell the bodies to accumulate just a little bit of money. And with that, we could easily start buying a good bit of barbed wire. Obviously, it's a good idea to keep an eye on fuel too, so I will pick up a coal, but we do have a fair amount of barbed wire at our disposal now. It's probably a good idea to have a decent amount of barbed wire around the sides of your train. And this is usually what I would recommend armoring up first to prevent things like zombies or werewolves or whatever else is coming at you from climbing the top of your train, because sometimes they can hit you while they're just up here and there's nothing that you can do about it really. So pretty much as soon as you can, I would say it's a decent idea to armor up around the sides of your cabin first, once you first have a decent amount of barbed wire. Something else I'd recommend from this shaky wagon wheel right here is if you do come across these are actually bulletproof. So these are perfect to put on a window because they provide maximum visibility while preventing you from getting shot through it. Now, of course, our train's not looking super hot right now. It's looking pretty freaking rough. However, its functionality overlooks right now. Just for a little bit of decoration, we'll put the statues back there. Perfect. Okay, so we found a store here that actually has these metal sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ones from earlier. So again, not super pretty or anything like that, but I went ahead and I armored up my train just that little bit more. Since I have basically $0 left, I can't do much more right now. But I took my junk stuff and I just kind of layered it along the back. It's not really going to stop stuff from climbing up all too much, but every little bit counts. I also went ahead and created this little funnel kind of system here, which I like to do whenever I play solo. So that way, anything that comes near this back area, they're kind of guided straight into the barbed wire, regardless of which side they come from. I created this little hood thing to stop things from just kind of dropping down and potentially like wedging their way in. And actually went ahead and I used the newspapers to cover up the windows right here. And I just left that one so that nothing can shoot me. And otherwise, I'm going to just kind of sit here and just kind of wait for these werewolves, and I can get some more metal sheets for the morning. Literally every single werewolf that I get right here is another metal sheet. Look at this beautiful pile right here. Oh yeah. Now here's where things can get a little bit more more, not necessarily tedious, but a little bit more kind of in depth here. And that's going to be setting up walls around the perimeter of your train. Now, what you generally want to do with this is kind of push them at like an angle. That way you can do two things here. You can either angle it kind of low enough where you can walk up the sides and kind of be able to peek over, or you want to have it angled kind of like this, where it kind of prevents stuff from being able to climb up. And there we go. Literally just like that, I've actually gone ahead and I've armored around the entire perimeter of the train here. So the sides are going to be covered with the barbed wire to stop stuff from climbing up the top. We got the interior armored right here to stop things from being able to shoot in. And we still have really good visibility. And also, if we have any teammates, if we got some chairs that we could put around here to keep them kind of seated and from jumping out the back, we've got already effectively almost a fully armored train, but we're not done just yet. And while I do that, I'm going to sell these for some money. I also just realized I still have 2 more metal sheets, so I'll just kind of use that to block off the corners around here. Look at that. Still climbable, still able to get up here. Too easy, bro. Too easy. So we actually got kind of lucky, and I did get a general store with barbed wire in it. I did go ahead and I bought 15 of them, and I know it's kind of self-explanatory, but the next step that you're going to want to do is literally just line the entire perimeter of the train with the barbed wire. Now, I actually did go ahead and line the entirety of the train, and I spaced them out just a little bit. That way, like, I mean, it saves a little bit of barbed wire. Nothing's getting through right here. So the entirety of the train car is covered in barbed wire. Nothing is going to be able to climb over this. And something that I actually went ahead and did just to make it a little bit easier to climb up, I did take away one of the metal sheets right here. And what I can pretty much do now is literally just set up like a bit of a perimeter there. And boom, like 20 barbed wire later, this thing is completely impenetrable. There is not going to be a single enemy in the current version of the game, other than maybe the final boss, that is going to be able to climb this train without taking heavy amounts of damage or being just tossed off of the train. And especially, they're not going to be able to get to you. If you want to go a little bit more crazy with it, you definitely can line the entire like front of the train as well. But generally, stuff's not going to be climbing the front of your train, and covering just the like side of the train where you're driving on with barbed wire is usually going to be good enough. Otherwise, you could just kind of go from here. This is going to be like the most extreme circumstance. Now, just to kind of prove my point a little bit more so, I'm going to go pretty deep into the like outside area of the base, and I'm just going to kind of hang out in here for the night. Now, one more thing that I do like to do sometimes is I like to line the entire bed of the train with barbed wire, but that's not really going to be something you're going to want to do in multiplayer or if you're playing with teammates or whatever. Literally just because of the fact that your teammates are going to be standing there. But solo, totally adequate to do it. Like, I've even got vampires, and nothing's able to get to me here. Like, they're just dying outside of the train. I mean, this is even a decent way to farm money. Ah, okay, well, hold on. There we go. I could just sit right here and basically nothing can get to me. Nice flip, bro. And he's gone. He got too embarrassed. Like, yeah, try to get to me, bro. I dare you. I literally dare you, bro. He's not even trying. He gave up. It's okay, bro. Have a good sleep. Look at that, dudes. All these freaking bodies, infinite money, just because I armored up my train a good bit here. But otherwise, that is pretty much going to be it. This is my general guide to getting your train armored. I think this is a fantastic little build here that's going to keep basically anything out of your train. With that said, if you guys did enjoy the video or found this helpful, make sure that you get subscribed for more guides just like this. And of course, we're going to keep up to date with all of you latest updates from Dead Rails, which we should be getting one in the next couple of days from the time that this video goes up. So otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this video helped out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for the channel members, by the way. You guys are absolutely incredible. Love you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later, dudes. Peace.